Welcome back. Hitherto, we had dealt with three important techniques which a mediator should have up his sleeve to make communication more effective. We'll deal with another one now, namely reframing. It's also a very effective skill, different from the one which we learned earlier. And probably this is key to the mediation and key to the success of mediation. Therefore, we need to understand the principle of reframing, why reframing, how we have to reframe, advantages of reframing, and also the disadvantages if we do not know or we do not do reframing. So what is reframing? There is already a statement made by a party. There is already a statement made by a party in mediation. The mediator has to reframe it. So frame is by the party, reframe is by the mediator. Usually, this reframing is done in a private session, not in a joint session. So therefore, it is always advisable to do the reframing in private session. Party makes a statement, party frames a statement, mediator reframes it. Why? Because the statement made by party A sometimes or most of the times may not be palatable, acceptable. It may be if the same thing is conveyed to the opposite party who is on the outside, waiting to know as to what is the discussion which is going on between him and the party A, namely the mediator and the party A. If the same thing is going to be repeated by the mediator before the party B as to what party A said in his private session, if the same thing is conveyed, since it was not acceptable, it becomes difficult for party B to continue, and he may say, I will not continue in mediation, and he may quit mediation. It happens. Sometimes in anger, frustration, a lot of things are said by a party in private, confidentially, in the presence of the mediator. The same thing cannot be carried through by the mediator to the second session, namely the opposite party's session, private session. If it repeats the same thing in the presence of party B as to what party A had said, mediation terminates properly. Therefore, the mediator has to reframe it and take it from there, confirm it with party A. This is what you have said, and move to party B and say what is he has already reframed. Because there will be a lot of negativity, venom, anger, frustration, fear, anxiety, which are expressed by party A in his private session in conference. And if the same venom, anxiety, negativity is taken to the party B, mediation will not move. Therefore, the mediator has to effectively use the skill of reframing to convert that sentence to positive, put that negative connotation to the positive connotation, see that the positive connotation is carried to the party B in the next session. We call it a shuttling process, that is to say, mediator shuttles from party A's room to party B's room. So he'll be always on the move from one session to the other session, one private session to the other session. And in the second session, in the next session with the party B, he is able to put it in the positive connotation, which makes party B to take it as he wanted it, as they had expected it, and then the mediation can go forward. So therefore, the technique of reframing is required for the mediator to use it effectively to see that the message is conveyed, but the anger, frustration, etc., the negativity, the venom is removed. Only the positive message is conveyed. The frame is changed to make it look presentable, acceptable to the party B, so that party B is in a frame of mind to take it further. This is reframing, and it's not easy. Mediator has to be very attentive. He has to be all the time listening to the party to understand his emotions, to understand his grievance, and also his anger or negativity. But he cannot also miss the message. He cannot say, no, the party A has said very good words about you. There is some frustration, anger. That also has to be conveyed, but it has to be conveyed in a lighter word, without giving importance to the anger or the words or the adjectives he has used. Therefore, the mediator has to learn this. Once he learns this, he will be able to move the party from past to future, past to present, negativity to positivity, complaint to feelings, blame to understanding. Because in the party session, private session, he will be blaming. Mediator has to convert it and reframe it and put it in a form where it becomes an understanding for the other side. Person to problem. Usually in mediation, party, while attributing, it is focused on his opposite party, namely the person. But if the focus is again on person in second session, next session, mediation doesn't continue because it's only a blame. So the mediator has to focus or shift from person to problem. We'll just give an example. I have a colleague of mine who always comes late to the office. His name is Ganesh. Suppose I am talking to the mediator and my mediator has already talked to Ganesh and come back. And he says, Mr. Prashant Chandra, Mr. Ganesh has this difficulty. The moment mediator uses the word Mr. Ganesh, that is a person, my mind gets blocked and I will not be able to move. He says, okay, Mr. Ganesh, you're talking about, leave it. Whereas if the mediator is able to focus on Ganesh's problem rather than on Ganesh, maybe he's coming late because of the reason that he doesn't have a two-wheeler or a four-wheeler to reach the office directly, then the problem is focused, the person is not focused. So the mediator has to have the skill to convert the problem out of the person and remove the person out of the problem. This is also one of the effective reframing skills. Position to interest. My position is what I want, but sometimes it is not achievable, easily achievable. For example, I want to buy a car worth 15 lakhs because next week I'm going to Bombay for a week and I need a car. That's my position. But 15 lakh is not easy. I don't have the money to buy that car. But what is my interest by buying that car? My buying of the car is only to see that when I go to Bombay, I have my own vehicle and I can easily go in my vehicle rather than going through the public transport. Therefore, I am trying to buy the vehicle. So the interest is only to see that I have a safe journey to Bombay and my position is 15 lakhs. Now, position being difficult, the position is now diluted. Mediator focuses on the interest. If you require to have a vehicle in Bombay, what you need is a vehicle. Only for that one vehicle, you can hire a vehicle. You can hire a taxi. You can take another vehicle or friend's vehicle and put petrol on that. I need not have to buy a 15 lakh worth car just for 1 week. So position being that I want to buy a car, interest is I want to have a safe travel to Bombay. So the mediator should be able to focus on that and change the focus to the interest. I can go on giving any number of examples, but I think this is enough to say. Similarly, the position to feelings. Sometimes it is understand that I'm going to Bombay because I want to have a safe, comfortable journey. It's my feeling, for which the answer could be in many ways. Reframing shifts focus from negativity to productivity. It also moves from past to future, complaint to interest, person to behavior, impossible to possible, despair to hope, from dark to brightness, dark to light. In short, mediation, the mediator uses the reframing skill to move the mediation from past to present, past to future. Reframing is a skill which is effectively used by the mediator to see that the mediation moves on. It doesn't get hanged in one particular place, and the mediator uses this tool of reframing like a gear in a car. When a car is being on run, suppose it is within the city limits, it cannot be more than first or second gear. When it comes to the entry of a ring road or a wide road, 6-lane road, it cannot move in the same first or second gear. It has to move immediately faster. Or similarly, the car cannot always be in the back gear. Similarly, if the mediator doesn't have this focus, the skill of reframing, the parties will be in the past. Parties will be in the complaint mode. Parties will be in the negativity. All these statements are made which are in the negative connotation. So it's a skill which is up his sleeves which he uses to shift the focus from past to future, past to present. And this is a very effective one which takes the mediation forward and makes the parties to focus again towards their goal rather than on their dispute. In one word, I would like to say, reframing is also an effective communication skill which is definitely required by the mediator to be used in the mediation. Otherwise, the mediation cannot go forward. To put it in one word, reframing is also restating, but restating is not reframing. It is different. So we have heard about paraphrasing, restating, reflecting, and now reframing. And definitely reframing is a very different exercise, different technique, which needs a lot of experience, lot of preparation in our mind before we put that thought forward to the party in mediation. Hope you enjoyed these reframings. Thank you.